Hey there! I was contacted by Olivia from Elia Note in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And she asked me if I'd be interested in reviewing one of their notebooks. And I'm happy I said yes, because I think this is a fantastic notebook. It comes in this interesting... This is not the notebook, this is a cardboard sleeve, but that's quite nice. And I think that as a cardboard sleeve, this already has a really cool feature, which is it tells you the ruling of the page, because you can get this ruled with lines, or you can get it in a dot grid, or you can get it in blank paper. And this way, if you have a few, you can put them on a bookshelf and you know exactly what finish you are, or what type of ruling you're grabbing, and I think that's really neat. Here we have the notebook, and this looks incredibly simple, and I love that. There are no bells and whistles on this. This is a notebook. Boom. It has 496 pages. I'm just saying from the top of my head. I just want to make sure I'm not... I was going to say full of... But I won't finish that sentence. Yes, 496 pages to write on. It is A5 size, and this is the line, the ruled version. 6mm lines. This is a beautiful maroon cover. It is an interesting cover because it is something in between a hard cover and a soft cover. So it is not super floppy, it's quite nice. Elia Note, okay, that's the first page. It says A5, 496 pages, 6mm line. That's really nice, especially when you're a reviewer and otherwise you have to look up all this stuff. It's all right there. Tomoe River Journal, made in Japan. Yes, this is Tomoe River paper. This is the lighter of the Tomoe River paper, so it's very thin and crinkly and floppy, and some people really love that. I have never been a particular fan, but I cannot deny the truth that is Tomoe River paper. This will begin to make things right, because this paper brings out sheen in inks like there is no tomorrow, which is something I don't particularly care for, but the paper has amazing qualities. It doesn't bleed through, it's very pleasant and smooth to write on, so I see those qualities. It's just that extreme thinness that I have never really cared for, but I have to admit, and I'm honest, this notebook may be convincing me otherwise, because I love the simplicity of this. 496 pages, that's a lot of paper. Tomoe River, A5 size is a good size to carry around. And it's thick, I mean, this is a lot of pages. So I love that. But I can talk about this forever. What you really want to know is, how does it perform? So, I have some pens inked up. Let's just see how it writes. For now, Olivia, thanks a lot for sending me the notebook. I appreciate it. And there's of course one very important thing I left out. The price. Currently converted 30 US, 30. For a book with Smith binding, which means that it lies flat completely, but I was going to show you that anyway. Lies flat completely. 496 pages of Tomoe River, $30. I don't think that's a bad price, so I would take it. But let's see how it performs, and then we can make up our own minds. Okay, so here we go with this Elia notebook. I have prepared a couple of fountain pens in different nib grades. This is the first page, which is kind of stuck to that frontispiece, but as you can see after that, the notebook lies completely flat. And I think that is very, very nice. So, I'm going to try and do some writing. I will inform you of the pen I'm using, as well as the nib and ink. I know I'm starting very highly up. I can zoom out a little bit. You'll see the legs of my tripod. I'm sorry. So here we have a fine nib. This is the Jacobin Sloop steel nib, and this is Ackermann Delft's Blau, a washable blue. I have a range of nibs, nib grades, and some different inks I thought would be fun to try out on the paper. Okay, then I moved to, I thought that would be interesting, I just happened to have it inked up for a review. This is a Sailor L'École, and this has an MF nib, so a medium fine nib, which is a Sailor thing, but I thought it would be interesting. The ink is Sailor Black. Then we should look at a medium nib. And the nib I happen to have here is on a Molteni. This is the model 54. The ink is Edelstein Star Ruby. And the reason I also used this pen, or selected this pen, is that it is described as semi-flex. I would be a little careful in flexing this, but here we have some flex, and see how the paper holds up to that. Then we have a broad nib, and this is my friend Peter's Scribo Feel, and the ink is Robert Oster Blue Lake Ice. Then, I thought just for the fun of it, here's a Waterman Carène with a broad nib, 18 karat, and a Waterman Blue Black. The advantage of the Tomoe River paper is that it is incredibly smooth. So all of these pens just glide across the paper, and I really, really enjoy that. And then the final thing that I wanted to try, and I just, because I didn't have any stubs or italics inked up right now, I thought we would just do something excessive then. I can zoom in a bit more now, I guess. And that would be a Pilot Parallel 6mm nib, if you can't say it with a 6mm nib. Don't say it at all. This is not my best calligraphy. I'm just trying to get the point across. Okay? 6mm, and that's just Pilot Black, came in a cartridge that that came with the pen. Now, I think that we can all agree that feathering is not an issue here. Tomoe paper is incredibly good when it comes to feathering. This is a lot of ink that I pulled on that page. You can also see it is not yet dry, and yet it is not feathering. So that, I think, is really nice. Now what I really want to see, and that I now have to wait for, I should probably have done the 6mm writing at the start, is the bleed through on the other side of the page. So I'm just gonna flip it. We'll see what happens. I don't know about you, I don't see any bleed through. I see some show through, there's a little bit of shade through, ghosting, whatever you like to call it, but I don't see any bleed through. Even for the 6mm writing, there are no dark patches of ink. There's just a little bit of show through. So here's the deal. What do I like, what do I not like about this notebook? I'm going to be honest, I love this notebook. I think it's great. 496 pages for you to write on. $30. Great design. Very simple. There is no bells and whistles. There is no 50 pockets and sleeves and little things and bookmarks. No, it's a notebook. It's like the Ron Swanson burger. It's a burger on a bun. Put ketchup on it if you want. I don't care. It's a notebook. It has great paper. It is bound in such a way that it lays flat on the desk. Lies flat on the desk. Sorry. No bells and whistles. No weird things. You also don't pay for weird things. $30, 496 sheets of Tomoe River, or sorry, pages of Tomoe River, I should say, to write on. What more could you wish for? I don't have any complaints. It's bound beautifully, it's tight, it's cut properly. The angles are crisp on this end, they're nicely rounded off nicely rounded off on that side. I don't have anything else to say about it. I really gave this thought, and I thought of things that I could come up with to complain about. I don't have any complaints. I'm sorry. It's a notebook. It does what it's supposed to do, and in my mind, $30 for this much Tomoe River A5 size is reasonably priced. Final thing I wanted to say was the same company, Elia Note, also makes leather covers. So this is clearly a very plain cover, but you can buy a leather sleeve to put on this that you can reuse. They're a bit more expensive than the notebooks are, but even those I think are pretty fairly priced, especially given that they are leather products. Yeah, then you're set for life basically. You buy that once, you buy a couple of these, you can write for a long time. So I'm sorry, I don't have criticisms. I love it. I think it's a great notebook. I hope this was useful. Olivia, thanks a lot for sending me this. I really appreciate it. If you have one, you have found something you dislike, then leave a comment, because I couldn't come up with anything. That's all there's to it. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.